Welcome back to Factorio, episode 13, and it's time to get nuclear. Well, how are we going to do that? First of all, just some updates on the factory. I pretty much stacked everything up, so I've got lots of circuits coming in, which required a second belt of copper, and that's somewhat problematic because I also improved the number of miners up here, so this is all full of miners now. Which means a severe shortage of this stuff, the black stuff, the power supplying coal. And it's being slowly starved because this entire coal patch is being used up, and we're getting into a positive feedback loop where not enough coal to power the power plant, which powers the coal, etc. Do I have any more coal around? There's a patch there, but that's a bit horrible placing. There's a patch all the way out there, but I'm going to try and subsist on this amount of coal until we get any further. Yeah, I'll just probably turn off this extra copper line temporarily. Just rob the coal out of that. That should now... will it back up? I wonder. We'll see. In the meantime, let's get on with the nuclear stuff, and I'll see how well that goes. So, nuclear power... First of all, needs us to mine for uranium. Oh, and there comes my train. Just briefly mention, the last car in this train now is empty. It's empty because we're going to reuse it for uranium. This train now only waits 30 seconds. It's got an ore condition, or 30 seconds past, so it's not going to wait for this last car to fill. However, here I may as well just set up like a mini unloader. I don't need anything particularly special here. I just want something to buffer this way. Yeah, so uranium should come out on here. And off goes our train, and we can race it down. I'm about almost out of power in my exoskeleton, so it's going to overtake me quite quickly, I imagine, as soon as I run out of power. Here it comes. So, yeah, as you can see, our loader there is also not working at the moment, but let's just hook that back up again. Well, not again, it's the first time it's been hooked up. But yeah, uranium will go into that last car. Over here, we've got our miners. The only reason I came down here is because there needs to be something a little bit different done with these. You need to pipe down, or otherwise get down. You could use a fluid wagon if you wanted to, with some pumps to unload it. You need to get the sulfuric acid down here. It won't mine without it. And as you can see, we've got a problem with power. I may have to go and switch things off to sort that out. So yeah, we're mining uranium, and it's being loaded onto our train, which we're going to get it to our main factory. We're then going to have to, what's it complaining about? It's complaining about a lamp. Okay, I'm not going to bother going back for a lamp. In our main production area now, and that's complaining because it doesn't have any power to those unloaders, which is a very quick problem to solve. There we go. We're now going to need to process this uranium, and to do that we're going to need a centrifuge, so let's see what I need for that. I think we're going to need concrete. Almost certain we're going to need concrete. Yeah, so concrete needs, let's just change over, concrete. Needs stone brick, iron ore, and water. Well... I certainly have the iron ore, but it's all the way over the other end of the factory, and I don't want to belt that down, really. So we've got stone brick here, and we can probably pipe water in from somewhere, so I just want a small area to make concrete. And here seems, good enough. We've got the stone brick. So I wonder if I use another chest. I'm going to use a requested chest. I don't think I've built any. No, and I'm going to request that the robots bring me iron ore. Hopefully we should have some of it here. Let's just build it off, let's say here. And is it outside the network? Is that why it's complaining? Do I have any robot ports? Yeah, it is outside the network, but it shouldn't be any more once I put this down, let's say here. Just needs a bit of power. Okay, and now bring me iron ore. So let's say iron ore, and I want, a lot of it. Let's say 2K, and let's see what they actually do. We're now going to want water as well, so we have that relatively close, I would have thought, for the production down here. Do I have... Yeah, I've got a water line there, so let me just grab some pipe to ground. I think I've already got some set up. And we can just bring it over. Usually this ends up being right on the belt, but in this case it's fine. And we want to bring it up around here, is it? Yeah, around there, okay. So anywhere around here should be fine. Is that on the line of the... yeah, I'm going to go one further. And of course, right in the way of a tree. That's to be expected. Okay. And then finally just some pipe to hook up the line where I turn the corner. That's oil. I don't want oil. Oh, it's in the pipes now. Why did I hook up oil? There we go. Let's just get rid of you for a second. And I may have to rip the pipes up, but if so, I will do that on off camera. Yeah, you've got crude oil in there. Okay, I'll do that off camera. Be right back. With that done, over here where we unload the iron ore, we're gonna. Hopefully, are we in the same network still? Where's my roboports? I'm out of roboports. Where's the nearest one? I'm probably out. No, it's okay. We're in. That's fine. So I'm going to use a passive provider chest and pop it right there. Put a couple of inserters in place. And then we can just load up iron when it comes in. When it comes in, where's my iron ore? Oh, I'm going to change that to 30 seconds as well, you know. I was going to leave it to inventory full, but it's just useful having it shuttling backwards and forwards. And I'll improve the loader behavior on each end if I need it. In fact, this thing is probably going to overtake me in the opposite direction now, so you've got to be careful about when crossing the tracks. It does tend to be a little bit dangerous. Yeah, here they are. The miners are going, because of our lack of power, these belts aren't compressed. So here I'm going to say at a wait condition time past 30 seconds, and the same thing here, time past 30 seconds. And that should head off right now. And these are just going to continue filling in the background. So back to the base and let's see if they transport the iron ore. And the robots are now working just fine. This chest is receiving the iron ore, set it to 4K, and the robots are bringing it all the way over from where our loaders are. To save some power, I switched off some of the iron, some of the copper, and until we get the uranium up and running. So now the stone brick is coming in. It's going onto a belt here, or half a belt. Our water's coming into this side, and then out the other side we're getting concrete. So we can now get a centrifuge, hopefully. Where did the centrifuge go? I just made one. I swear I just made one. There it is. Haha. Okay, so the centrifuge can be popped down pretty much anywhere we like, but we're going to be processing uranium. So let's go and see if we can just put it down there for now. I think we're going to get two different types of processed uranium out of it. So let's, for the moment, just pop it down. Let's see what it actually says we need. Uranium processing. Yeah, it takes uranium ore and it's going to output two different things. One of which is useful, the other one which is not. However, the one which is useful is the 0.7% one, not the 99% one. Unfortunate, but I suppose we can still sort this out. So let's just start feeding it uranium, shall we? We can put modules in it, of course, to speed things up. So it's going to start processing. There we go, but slowly because of our power situation. We're constantly running out of coal. I may have to resolve that just by borrowing some of this coal. And then just going feeding our power plants for a little while. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to set up some more centrifuges, or at least maybe I subsist on just the one to get our first fuel rods, which we're going to have to process. That is, I think, maybe it's just a regular factory process. We can make nuclear reactors here, but it's not reactors we want, it's the fuel rods. Let's just see what, where they are. Can I not make them? Fuel, or is it in one of the other factories? Ah, there we go. Okay. fuel cells, not fuel rods. Okay, so you need 1 of the uranium-235, 19 of the uranium-238, which is okay-ish apart from the fact that they're being produced at 99% and 0.7%. So we'll end up with a vast quantity of 238 that we cannot deal with without some further processing. So for now, we're just going to look for the uranium-235s, and we need to get that process up and running before we build a reactor. So I'm going to go and put this in a suitable place once I sort out this situation a little bit more. This is definitely positive feedback problems. Be right back. Okay, here we are in our power area. Just one thing of note, I don't know why this happens, but sometimes when the burner inserters run out of coal, they give up even when coal's resupplied, so I had to replace them. As soon as I did that, they were sort of okay. They decided to start working again. Anyway, what we're going to do here is, first of all, request that... well, in fact, let's put in our reactor, see how much room we got to play with. A nuclear reactor is made, or you made it in your pocket because it requires so much stuff. 500 concrete, 500 advanced circuits, 500 steel, 500 copper. It's expensive, but it is pretty good, so we can put it wherever we want. And to start with, I think I'm just going to put it down wherever. It doesn't really matter too much to me to start off with, so let's just say here. And then we're going to want to put heat pipes away from it. I think I've made some. Yes, I have. Again, shouldn't much matter where we get or where we go with those. And then from that, I'm going to need some heat exchangers. They work a lot like the boilers. They're just from the nuclear side of things. And in fact, while we do that, let's just actually request that all the, well, whatever fuel we've already created is brought down here. And that we are in the network, hopefully, so maybe some will arrive. Yeah, so it needs fuel, and then the heat pipe is going to come along here. We're going to need the heat exchangers now. So heat exchangers. I'll leave a bit of room. Let's say 4 of those, and I think it's 7 turbines from that. Don't quote me, but I think it's 7 rather than 8. It would have been nice if it was 8, just saying. And I think I may want to leave another gap. Because I'm just going to need to hook up power, so yeah, I may as well leave that one gap. Not boilers. Not boilers, heat exchangers. There we go. And now our turbines. Yeah. There we go. And some power. Oh, at least some power connectivity. Probably put it there, actually. And then we'll just pull this straight down and connect it to the rest of our network. Okay, now I think... oh, one more. Now, I think this just needs to be hooked up. How many do we have? We have 20 fuel cells so far. So we can start feeding that in. We're going to need water and some pipe. So let's just put that down there. And then pipe to ground. And do I have a pump? Okay, I'm going to make an offshore pump. Let's make one. Then pipe to ground. Okay, water's going in. These are going to heat up and produce steam, but they need fuel to do so. So let's put the fuel in. I think I'm going to need filter inserter to pull that back out again. Am I out of power poles? I am. Okay. Let's just hook this up. Okay, and now the reactor is on. It's going to take a long time to get through its fuel cells. However, yeah, these are going to take a little bit of time to heat up. They're going to need to heat up, and they see 26, 27, 28. They need to get to about 500 at least, I think. It's certainly more than the 100 that we get from these. Or at least, oh, that's 165. Okay, fair enough. Not 100. So yeah, we're going to get superheated steam, which is going to go into these, and then I'm going to need another filter inserter. Oh, I've already got one, actually. And we'll pull that back out into a passive provider chest, unless I've got one already. I do. And I'm going to say you're going to pull out the used up uranium fuel cells. So that should be set up. it's certainly running. And let's see if that solves my power problem. So currently I'm using about 36 megawatts of power. The nuclear reactor, well, it provides 40 megawatts, so it should immediately be able to take over the work of all of these, or the other way around, we've basically doubled our power. So once that's done, that should then let me turn on a lot of the other things around the base, at which point I can put in another nuclear reactor, and then I have to go and get more uranium. And where did I find some? There was some up there. That might be far away from the biters, which I still haven't turned off, but I keep on having a trip around with my tank and taking care of them between episodes. Yeah, I've got that one small uranium ore patch down there. There's another really nice one there, but I'm going to have to train that probably on a separate line. Again, I don't like the fact this is on a separate line, but it just happened to be convenient for the episode. I'll probably separate uranium onto its own stuff once I get enough power to turn everything back on again, which I don't have at the moment. So yeah, let's leave this to heat up. What is it up to now? Where's my heat exchanger? 233. Yeah, we're not going to see any performance out of this, I don't think, until this heats up. And here we are. All of our steam engines are essentially off. I've removed all the burner inserters, and we have one reactor going, and the power is fine. Well, we're powering it so far. Available performance, well, we're pretty close now that we've turned off the steam engine, so I'm probably going to set up another reactor. But I don't think we quite have the this set up for enough of these fuel cells yet. So I'm going to have to go and fix that one. Let's see what we can do on that front. I think we'll maybe, well, it depends how well that train is providing us uranium. Let's go and check. Okay, so I now have 2 nuclear reactors up. Our power situation is absolutely fine. Let's just look at it over the last hour. You can see, yeah, let's go over 10 hours. No, 1 hour. Yeah, you can see where our nuclear reactor came online, and our power is jumping up and down, if you like. It's mainly from the electric mining drills, and they're going up and down like that just because of the trains. There's a buffer in place, so every time the train gets loaded, they all can start moving again, and then it fills up and they can all go back down again. So that's perfectly fine. And the same thing is fine for the production on this side. You can see now 14 steam turbines. The steam engines are producing 0. They've dropped down to nothing, which is exactly what we want. And I'm not sure that particularly has a noticeable impact on pollution. I'm not sure what the difference between a steam turbine pollution and steam engine pollution is, but in either case, there are less of them, so hopefully that's a little bit better. Up here, we can take a look at, and I probably don't need 2 of these, I can probably get away with 1. But I've got 16 fuel cells in here, and that's fairly static over the last 15 minutes or so. So that's good for 2 reactors. I don't think it would maintain 3. And that means we need to look at, if we want to scale it up anymore, we don't need it for just yet. But we need to look at then the centrifuges. They seem to be working fine. I have upgraded the first one with a productivity module 3, and the rest I'll probably upgrade as I actually get more of them. They are terrible to craft. I need to actually set up machines to craft them rather than me. However, the ore itself is backing up nicely into these buffer chests. I could probably disconnect this side, but once we get another train coming in, I may well just have another train and replace these where they should be. And as you can see, we're definitely not backing up on the 235. Okay, so that's power done, I think, for the immediate future. I've reconnected all the copper and upgraded them to the 2nd tier of furnace. I am going to upgrade to the 3rd tier of furnace, but that requires a new setup and a new layout. So, I'm also using that furnace, the electric furnace, for this research. It needs purple science, which is the one that gets used. Its ingredients are the electric furnaces. But it's good to move across to those as well. Then we're not using coal pretty much at all for most of our factory, except where we're processing coal into plastics and stuff like that. So do we have any spare? Is it backing up? I don't think it is. Where are my furnaces? There they are. Okay, are you backing up now? Well, there's a few, I guess. 3 is not an idea of backing up, however. It's coming all the way over here. I've removed this belt. We're gradually converting across to robotics-based systems. So as you can see, they are here. And it is producing purple science. That nuclear fuel reprocessing is moving. It just takes 1,500 of them, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah, 1,500 packs. So it's going to take a while. We could, of course, increase the number of these, but then we need more electric furnaces as well. It's mainly that's the bottleneck. So maybe I will do that off camera and increase. I'm probably going to run out of ingredients over there. It's going to take more and more stone bricks and more steel. You can see the steel along here. It's being used up quite rapidly. Yeah, it's barely keeping up with stone bricks, which are coming in from our newly rearranged section down the bottom. I'll go and have a look at that one. Had to rearrange it because the previous setup was just inefficient. I needed more and more stone bricks. And as you can see, they're coming along all the way over here, but not very many of them. It's backed up to this point. But here we've got 4 furnaces going with all these mining drills going. And I've got that. Those boxes were just buffer boxes. So I guess I could just feed into the bottom there just for now. Let's just go this way. Oops. Get rid of that and then just go this way. Do I have enough? Should I have? Yep. And why is the 2 boxes on there? Let's take those off. And that hopefully should just empty out. And once they're empty, then I'll rearrange things. But yeah, this setup is working, but not terribly quickly. So I think I'm going to get more furnaces. Those are steel furnaces, so I guess I could just add more here. We don't need terribly more equipment to make them work, so let's just put those in place. Whoops. There we go, and on the other side as well. Need some power. And hopefully that should solve the problem. Certainly faster now, but that's because these buffer boxes are unloading. And again, this little thing is just distributing them on the belts. It's not increasing throughput whatsoever, so I don't like doing it. I'd rather build these onto both sides, but we don't really have enough coming in from this stone patch to do this all that often. So I can't really scale those electric furnaces up that much more. Well, I added a few more anyway, and it got me enough to get started, at least, with this new furnace setup, which we may as well do now. And that's running out of resources. There's only 70 left. Yeah, something like that. So that leaves room for new furnaces. And I guess I can build them in here and then erase these once the new ones take their place. So what do we do with the new furnaces? Well, they're much larger than the old ones and they just take electricity. So we're going to have to design something to fit around them. So this is just for building a blueprint purposes. Again, if we want fuel, input on the outside and then output on the inside, and have a double row, something like that, then we can have much the same layout, except that the furnaces take up more room. So if we go something like here, then we're going to need a belt going this way, and then another furnace. Where are the furnaces? There they are. Let me just replace them on my hotbar. Like that. And then the same thing on this side. And then we just need to put in our usual inserters. And something along these lines should do fine. I'm going to need more. Why am I out of them? Am I just sort of iron and it's not bringing me iron because these aren't... I don't have a provided chest with iron anywhere? Really? Okay, let's make one, shall we? Let's just grab some iron. And where are my provider chests? Passive provider. There we go. Let's just upgrade that to a passive provider, and now everything should bring me iron plate. And then I can make sure that it refills it with iron plate. I may have turned them off from somewhere else in the network because I was constrained by iron. Not anymore anyway. So let's just make some more fast inserters. And then it's just going to be purely supply coming in from the outside. And I don't think we need to do anything else for this. I think we can just tile this. So if I just grab a couple more of them, so we've got a decent tiled unit. Whoops. Oops, if you put them in the right place, great. There we go. All right, and then we want to tile this so that they can just be placed automatically, which looks about right. We're going to need to split the supply coming in from the top, just like before. However, we don't need to do this arrangement where we've got two of those. So just splitting it straight away to either side should be fine. Ideally, that means that the middle belt will probably be blue and the outside will be red, but I'll just leave this alone for the moment. Just give me a new blueprint, please. And let's save that. Let's say electric furnaces. And let's just choose that as the icon. There we go, save it. And then I can then place this down, and that should just tile perfectly like that. However, I need to pick up the old stuff first before finally positioning it, so just grab all of those, please. I need more robots, clearly. Oh no, wait, they're going to pull them into the network. Okay, fine. There we go. So now I can place them with the same kind of thing. We're going to have the input on the bottom, so it shouldn't really matter much. Other than I can move the power poles maybe, because we need to have them set up. Let's just put them there for now. That should do. And now can I place my blueprint back? Where is it? There it is. Is that the right way around? Yeah. Well, no, not in this case, because everything's running one way. Well, that's annoying. Let me resort that out and we'll come back on camera. Alright, there we go, some power poles. We've got everything roughly at the same kind of level. So then we just need to rebuild everything, I guess. The system doesn't have many of those electric furnaces at the moment, but it should have in future. So for now, I can just place this down. Let me grab my blueprint book. I've put it in with the other furnaces, and we can just place this down like this. That should tile, obviously. It's not going to tile exactly the same as this one because these are 2x2. These are 3x3. And in come the robots. And the more of these we have, the faster this will construct. But for now, this looks pretty good. It's just missing, of course, these electric furnaces. So I will go through between the episodes and upgrade these so we get all on the next tier of furnaces, and hopefully the power will sustain it. Yeah, we seem to be doing fine. Once these are on, that will help. So in fact, let's just start them and put it through our paces now, just so we know that everything works. That's the output line, so I can just take that off, and then we just want an input line here. It won't exactly be symmetric, but it's close enough. It's a shame you can't get these exactly symmetric, because obviously a 2x2 splitter isn't symmetric, but other than that, whoops, let's go this way. And I'm going to need to rearrange this slightly. A splitter. And then we need the inputs. So all of this can go. So let's just grab the deconstruction planner. This makes things so much easier when you can just do that. Because that last miner is now finished, so we can rip a lot of this up. Let's get rid of all of you. And I actually want to move this splitter to be back here, I'm gonna say. Yeah, let's put it there. And let's just feed this one over this way. Over and in. Will you work? Yeah, you will. Okay, so all the electric furnaces are coming online. Of course, they're not spewing out pollution all over the place. At least I hope they aren't. We'll see soon enough. The system's going to build the rest of these. And I don't think I've got them in storage anywhere, so maybe I should just pocket craft a few and it'll build those, because they are being supplied for this purple science, which is still being used up. And we'll see how that goes. So, hope you like this episode. We've got the initial nuclear fuel processing, the initial nuclear fuel recipes going. We'll cover the reprocessing and the Covarex process either in the next episode or the one after. We're also going to get rockets up and running soon, because I did start the rocket silo research, but that takes 1,000 again of both purple and, in this case, yellow. So I'm going to need to back a lot of that up so that we have enough to do that. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't. And if you see anything you want to correct or make better, leave a comment below. Happy to see it. See you next time.